Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or as we like to say here at Shady Acres Woodshop, howdy. Well, this is just going to be a simple project of fir. It's going to be a fir bowl. It's roughly 9 inches this way, 9 inches this way, and about 3.5 inches thick. I've never turned fir before. I did attempt to turn fir, I don't know, 3-4 videos ago, and it turned out to be not fir, alder I guess it was, but this piece is definitely fir. And it's a softwood, and it grows here in the Pacific Northwest vociferously. There's lots of them, that's what I'm trying to say. And especially there's lots of them right here on this property at Shady Acres. That's what provides the shade. This is what they typically make 2x4s out of, housing lumber, construction grade lumber. So I'm not expecting any beautiful grain, and I think we can see that we don't have any beautiful grain. This seems to be a pretty sound piece. I don't see any cracks in it. I cut it and removed the pith. I don't expect the bark to stick around for long, but it is going to be a natural edge bowl. I've drilled a hole here for my woodworm screw. So we'll get this mounted up and see what we can make out of it. It's kind of cold out here on this March 1st day. So you can probably hear the hum of the little heater I have pointed at me. Well, right off, that's not going to work. I held it there and it never got tight. So I got to work on something else. I'll figure it out. Well, I just went ahead and mounted up just between centers. So I've got a spur drive in my chuck and the live center here. I don't have a plan on what this is going to look like. I have no idea. I did pull 99% of the bark off of it. It just came off with my fingers, so might as well take it off now. And we'll just start shaping this and put a tenon on the bottom here and turn it around and hollow it out. Going to be turning at 600 RPM, face shield and mask in place, 5/8 inch bowl gouge. Lay out my tenon. I think I'm just about right anyway, right there. About 750. I'm going to sharpen up. Yeah, I kind of think that's about as good as it's going to get. There's real soft grain between the growth rings. Real soft. It's smooth. I don't really see any tool marks. Alright, well, let's see if we can get this tenon ready for a dovetail. Just using a 1/2 inch swept back gouge to create the dovetail for my chuck jaws. And And that ought to do it. Now I need to smooth out this base that it's going to sit on. I wonder if I should make that a little smaller. It seems kind of wide, huh? I think I'll come up here a little, about halfway through that, and come up into my cove. 1/2 inch bowl gouge, standard grind. That looks better. So time for a little sanding. So I'll be sanding starting with 80 grit up through, I don't know if I'll go through 400 for softwood like this. We'll see how it goes. I've decided to go with this Howard's Feed and Wax. It says put it on, let it sit 20 minutes and then buff it. I did sand to 400 grit. I wasn't thinking I would need to go that far, but I did. And it feels pretty smooth except for these areas where I'll change the camera angle here in a minute because I don't think you can quite see it. Area between the growth rings on this softwood fir, it's like it's not there. You see that? There's no tool marks or anything, but boy, that's not particularly attractive. See if I can force some of this into that. But again, I wasn't expecting some spectacular art piece here. I just wanted to try turning this stuff because I sure got plenty of it. I'm anxious to see what the inside's gonna look like. Probably a lot like the outside. Nothing spectacular. So I got a pretty good coat on there. I'll let that sit for a bit and come back and buff it up. And then we'll be ready for the fun part, inside of the bowl. Well, I wasn't expecting much, and I didn't get much, so no disappointment there. But it's fir. What do you want? Let's get this thing turned around and hollow it out. That's what it looks like without the bark. What do you think? Tailstock support or not? I think not. Now you can see several more cracks in here that I couldn't see that were under the bark. So I hope this thing doesn't blow apart on me. You never know. You just never know. Kind of exciting. 820 RPM, 5/8 inch bowl gouge. I'm going to sharpen up well, I lost a good chunk out of the rim here. The growth rings are far apart out here, a little tighter, starting about here. It gets tighter as you go in. That's a pretty good crack right there. So I better not go much thinner, and I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I guess live with it. I guess I'm kind of taking an I don't care attitude towards this because, again, it's just fur. It's just an experiment. But on the other hand, I've got some time invested here, so I'm going to go ahead and put a little CA in these cracks. See if I can keep them from coming apart. I'm sure that's coming through the other side. And yeah, it's right there, if you can see it. And then there's another crack up here. And that came through the other side. They're just kind of hairline cracks, so I'm not going to try and fill them. And I've got a hole here, a void actually, in the growth rings. I think I will fill that because it's kind of big. Kind of awkward to get at. So we'll let that set 5 minutes or so and get back at it. That's actually wiggling there. I'm going to re-glue that hairline crack. Okay, we are thin enough. I'm going to scrape it and then sand it. Oh, I think that's about the best we can expect from this wood. Time for sanding. The first thing I want to do here is clean up the natural edge. And for that I'm going to use this tool that I use frequently. I'm just looking to soften it. I'm not looking to get rid of all the different colors. And this I'm going to have to take care of with a 2-inch sanding disc, I guess. Although I can smooth it out here. Yeah, it just doesn't look like the rest of it. It looks like a patch. It looks like what it is. And that's why I don't like to usually fill these. But it's done now. Maybe it'll blend in better when the finish is put on, but I doubt it'll probably make it stand out more. But that just gives a nice smooth overall touch. So I'm going to do 80 grit through 400 just like I did on the outside. And then I'm going to do the outside again, probably 320 and 400 just to clean up the glue from the cracks that I filled. And then I'll reapply the finish to the outside and the inside. That's an ugly patch that looks just like it is, a patch. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and do the outside again. I don't think there's much technique to putting this stuff on. Again, this is Howard's Feed and Wax Wood Polish and Conditioner, which consists of beeswax and orange oil. I considered putting Danish oil on this, which may have been a better choice, I don't know. I don't think anything could make this thing look good. Okay, so I'm going to let that set for 20 minutes like the directions say. Come back and buff it. Then we'll turn it around and take off that tenon. So that's next. Ready to remove the tenon. A 3/8" bowl gouge to get that off of there. Start out with anyway. Make sure I have center clearance. Make sure this is below my rim, or the base that the bowl is going to sit on. And it is. So now I'm going to switch to a 3/8 inch spindle gouge to get in there real close. And we'll just cut this off while it's on the lathe. Now I just want to make sure I have the smoothest surface I can get with the least amount of sanding, and I'm good there. So I'm going to turn the speed down here some. When you get it down that far, it's just a matter of applying pressure with the bevel of the gouge against the bottom of the bowl, pressing towards the headstock until it cuts through. You can do that one-handed quite easily. Right hand on the gouge, left hand on the switch, and as soon as it breaks through, just turn off the power. Just like that. There we go. A little bit of sanding, sign it, wax it, and it's done. Well, there we have it. One 8-inch fir bowl. I guess I've been thinking about why anyone would use fir. Again, I just wanted to try it. First time I ever tried it. And I suppose if you're a new turner and maybe you don't have a lot of hardwood available to you, like I didn't when I was young and just starting out and couldn't afford to buy any, but this stuff's pretty cheap, sometimes just free. I guess that might be a good reason to turn fir. You just have to have low expectations about what kind of finish you're going to get off the tool and off the sandpaper. But you know, a good practice piece, nothing wrong with it. Nice utility bowl. It's kind of ugly is all. So I hope you liked this video. Hope you got some ideas from it. If you did, thumbs up please. I appreciate it. And if you're a subscriber, I appreciate that as well. Thank you very much. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and click the subscribe button. I have fairly regular videos. I try and do one a week. I don't always get it done, but I try. So for now, this is Phil, Shady Acres Woodshop, signing off.